You know how you occasionally hear people say, they don't make them like they used to? Well, they don't. Not when you're talking about traditional Australian family cars like the classic old Holden Commodore and Ford Falcon that used to dominate our roads. We're talking about affordable yet powerful and dynamic 6-cylinder rear-wheel drive sedans and wagons with enough width inside for 3 to fit across the back seat in comfort. People love them because they seem tailor-made for our vast country. Except now there's this, the MY25 Mazda CX-60. Released in 2023, the previous model copped quite a lot of flack for riding too firmly, steering a bit weirdly, having a kind of an odd transmission calibration, and most of all, costing too much. But this one, well, Mazda has evolved it to be something quite a bit different. My name is Byron Mathioudakis for CarsGuide.com.au, and I'm here to find out more, so let's go. Let's talk about affordability. The new CX-60 now starts at just over $50,000, which represents a price drop of at least $10,000. But there's a catch. In the new base model, you pay less, but you also get less than before, though you'd hardly call the entry-level pure grade a poverty pack. Cloth trim and a smaller 10.25-inch touchscreen are the main concessions here, but buy a SteelScore dual-zone climate control, a 360-degree view camera, wireless Apple CarPlay/Android Auto, and 18-inch alloy wheels. There's also a decent level of advanced driver assist safety technology like autonomous emergency braking and lane support systems. More on those in the safety section later on. Moving up to the Evolve brings a larger 12.3-inch touchscreen with a ground view monitor, artificial leather trim, a wireless charger, power tailgate, and a few extra safety items. But for luxuries like leather and heated/powered front seats, you'll need the new touring grade. Climbing up to the GT ushers in adaptive LED headlights, a panoramic sunroof, Bose audio upgrade, a powered/heated steering wheel, hands-free tailgate operation, heated rear seats, glossier trim, and 20-inch alloys, while the Azami boasts Napa leather, glitzier finishes, vented front seats, and more. Choosing to go diesel adds $2,000, while going for the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle powertrain ups the price by over $11,000 across all grades. Now, they certainly sound expensive for a mid-size SUV from Japan, but the CX-60 is considerably larger and roomier than, say, the old CX-5 or Toyota RAV4. It also possesses a level of sophisticated engineering that puts it in league with the Audi Q5, BMW X3, Lexus NX, and Mercedes-Benz GLC. And the least expensive of these kick off from over $20,000 more. As a sub-luxury, premium mainstream proposition then, the CX-60 lives in a sort of no man's land. Yet its styling and specification certainly reveals where Mazda's aspirations lie. If you're looking for something different in the looks department for the CX-60, you won't find it because it's essentially the same car as last year from an aesthetic perspective, which means that you still get the same cab backward design, the distinctive wing motif grille, and that long bonnet, short rear overhang situation. It still looks modern, it still looks clean, and in my opinion, it is probably one of the more distinctive of the recent Mazda SUV designs. And the same applies inside. Like the exterior, the changes for the MY25 CX-60 are pretty much under the skin. However, in this pure model, which is new to Australia, you do get different trim and lesser equipment, but it's essentially the same spacious and comfortable interior treatment. So let's dive in and check that out. If we're honest, the dash is elegant but old-fashioned, especially compared to, say, the latest BMW X3's dazzling display. It feels like a hangover from last decade's CX-9. Yet there's no denying how satisfyingly easy and logical most of this is, from the super clear electronic instrumentation to the simple and effective climate control layout, while the iDrive style rotary knob controller for the central display means less time with eyes off the road. This stuff is important. Additionally, there's a quality solidness to the fit and finish that elevates the social climbing Mazda beyond what the CX-5 could achieve. All the essentials are also well thought out, from storage and vision to ventilation and, not least of all, space and seat support, especially over long distances. That also carries over to the roomy and very user-friendly back seat. The CX-60 is an SUV that a family could grow into over time without it feeling excessive. And speaking of lots of room... What? They call you tripod? Lucky you. Anyway, one of the reasons why you might consider buying a Mazda CX-60 is for its large boot, which is flat and easy to load and nice and wide. Plus, you get these handles that should fold the seats automatically. We've used it too much rehearsing this bit. Anyway, also, there's a temporary spare wheel underneath the floor, so you don't have to worry about punctures. And you know what else you don't have to worry about in these cars? Performance. So let's check what's underneath the bonnet. So it's actually what's under here that may resonate most with potential buyers, because you get a choice of 2 inline 6-cylinder engines and something with a very modern twist. For now, the base engine is the G40E, a 3.3 litre turbo petrol 6, delivering the sort of healthy power figures that late model Commodore, Falcon and Ford Territory buyers would appreciate. There's also a D50E turbo diesel version for extra pulling power and economy, and we're getting into premium European territory here because both offer a 48-volt mild hybrid system, employing a small electric motor to boost torque yet cut fuel consumption and CO2 emissions. Last but not least, there's the P50E plug-in hybrid, combining a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine with a larger electric motor powered by a 17.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. The latter allows for up to 76 kilometres of pure electric driving range and can be recharged either via regenerative braking when driving or when plugged in into a Type 2 supported wall socket. Now, all 3 engines use the revised 8-speed wet multiplate clutch automatic transmission, still driving the rear or all 4 wheels as performance and or traction needs arise. Yep, this is essentially a rear drive biased family SUV in the best BMW tradition, with a sophisticated double wishbone front and multi-link rear suspension setup to keep everything in line. So what's changed underneath compared to last year's model? Among the modifications are stiffer dampers and softer rear springs to address ride comfort issues with the old car, relocated front knuckle mounts, altered rear axle bushes, and the removal of the rear anti-roll bar for more stable control. Also, you'll find shorter rear bump stops for greater suspension travel, an extra joint in the steering column that quells vibrations, while updated software improves steering feel and the electronic stability control operation. And the result? To find out how much better, or worse, Mazda's latest midsize SUV is, we drove it in a variety of conditions, from the push and shove of Melbourne's bumper-to-bumper peak hour traffic, to a series of demanding emergency swerve and multi-speed ride and handling test maneuvers at the legendary Lang Lang Proving Ground that shaped so many of our iconic Holdens. This is the acid test. Does the CX-60 drive like a Mazda should? Well, in the engine department, definitely. The changes that Mazda's done to the transmission calibration means that the transmission just doesn't hunt and isn't as indecisive as it used to be, and that results in smoother shifts and just a more relaxed driving experience. And that's across the range, whether we're talking about the 6-cylinder diesel, the 6-cylinder petrol, or the plug-in hybrid. And the latter actually is the big surprise, because the changes made to the gearbox have resulted in a much more pleasant car. No more shunting and jerky movement. And then there's the ride. The suspension is significantly more pliable and comfortable, with better absorption, improved control at speed, and basically just a more refined experience. So how does that translate to everyday people? Well, it's just better to ride and drive. It corners more smoothly, it feels quieter, and it's just a more supple experience overall. There's so much that was good with the original CX-60 anyway, including high speed stability and control, as well as performance, and those things carry over. So it's a win-win situation. If you were in the market for a sub-premium mid-sized SUV with performance and space and sophistication, I think you can do a lot worse than check out the CX-60. It is that much better than before. One area where the Mazda did not need fixing is in its fuel economy. The official combined average figures are on your screen right now, and they're impressive for a largish mid-size SUV weighing over 2 tonne. Driven hard, the trip computer in the plug-in hybrid version showed low 7s, mid 8s in the diesel, and high 9s in the petrol, which aren't bad at all. Plus, the big petrol 6 runs on the cheaper standard unleaded brew. Woohoo! Thankfully, the CX-60 isn't frugal on safety though, scoring a 5-star ANCAP crash test rating. An extensive suite of advanced driver assist safety tech is standard, and it's all nicely tuned for Australian roads, unlike almost every Chinese vehicle we've tested, and that's an important distinction, including the Mazda's AEB, lane keep assistance, blind spot monitoring, and vehicle exit warning systems. But the base Pure does miss out on front cross traffic braking, a driver monitor, and a couple of other more minor safety systems, so maybe stretch to the Evolve if you want all those. You can read my full review at carsguide.com.au for the full safety story. Mazda could do a bit better with its warranty nowadays, since its 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty with roadside assistance is decidedly average. Service intervals are at 12 months or every 15,000 kilometres, while a fixed price service scheme is available, starting from $463 per service depending on grade, so that's no bad thing. But the big question is, do all these changes mean the latest CX-60 represents a return to form for the brand from Hiroshima? So, let's check the scores on the board for the MY25 Mazda CX-60. Inline 6-cylinder performance combined with rear biased all-wheel drive dynamics? Check. Space to move? Check. Affordability combined with newfound ride comfort? Double check. Okay, so it may still look a little bit daggy on the outside, and we'd like a little bit less suspension road noise on the inside, but this is the Mazda CX-60 that should have been launched back in 2023. It is the evolution of the traditional Australian family car. Don't forget, you can read the full review at carsguide.com.au, and as always, thanks for watching.